a state of emergency. Check, check. I need all my Knicks fans right now to grab your jerseys, your popcorn, your sodas, whatever you gotta do to get ready for this game. I don't care if you're a cheerleader, an athlete, a couch potato. We're here to restore the feeling. Matter of fact, how you say it from New York? What I say it from New York? Hey yo, let's go now.
Hey yo, I bring that New York energy. Talking 42nd Street, alley hoop finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs, step back, hit it three. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy, just to see the Knicks play, make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us, whole city is wild. This is New York, why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty, yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese, or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter in, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it dub. By the third quarter in, no, they ain't catching up. Gotta stay in the lead before that shot clock buzz. If the Knicks get a win, we gon' do it again. Make the finals once before, we gon' do it again. Bounce back in the fourth, we gon' do it again. It's been a while since the chip, but we gon' do it again, yeah.
Yo, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Yo, put your hands up. If you from New York, put your hands up. Yo, look, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Look, put your hands up. Hey yo, New York City, put your hands up. Sky, baby.
What up? What up? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Bishop D-Lo. It's the Church Guy Sports Show for the 11th of June, 2024. We are here, you're there, and we are excited to bring you episode 3 of the Church Guy Sports Show podcast. We're here ripping and running, getting it going. Lot to talk about here. So before we get into it, we need you to do what we ask you to do at all times. We need you to like, share, tag, and comment. Go to the Church Guy Sports Show page on Facebook. Usually I would have this streaming on my personal page right now, but right now our platform, for whatever reason, is not allowing me to post it to my personal page. So I need y'all to go to the Church Guy Sports Show page on Facebook, as well as go to the YouTube channel. And I want y'all to go ahead and click the like, click the subscribe, and let's do it that way on tonight. Again, as always, and then to have tomorrow morning, midnight, 12:01-ish, the audio version of the podcast will be available for you wherever you listen to your podcast. That's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify, that's iHeartRadio. It'll be everywhere. It'll be all over podcast land tomorrow morning at 12:01. But we want to get into the show tonight, to episode 3. Now that we're in our official run, I'm flying solo for a little while here right now. The fellas are out and off, but we're going to have this conversation, and we want all of you to join into the conversation on tonight. There's a lot for us to unpack, a lot for us to talk about in the world of sports on tonight, and so we're going to get it going. So again, like, share, tag, and comment, and let's get things going. First things first, let's talk about the NBA Finals. Let's get right into it. The NBA Finals kicked off on last week. They're 2 games into the finals. Kicked off last Thursday, game 1 from Boston, and then game 2, which took place as well. And right now, the Boston Celtics lead the series 2-0. And there's a lot to really talk about where it comes to the Boston Celtics and what I've seen from them within this first 2 games of this final series against the Dallas Mavericks. First and foremostly, I want to say that Boston really looks strong. They got Kristaps Porzingis back, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But with them getting Porzingis back, things begin to look a lot better for them as far as this goes. And the interesting thing about Porzingis being back with them is Joe Mazzulla decided to bring Porzingis off the bench. And that ended up being a really, really good strategy move. Al Horford had been playing in the starting lineup pretty much since the middle of round one when Porzingis went out. And so as not to upset that unit and to give Porzingis an opportunity to kind of ease himself back in, Coach Joe Mazzulla did something I didn't expect. And I've been hard on Joe Mazzulla, honestly. I really have been very, very hard on Joe Mazzulla as a coach because, quite honestly, Mazzulla hasn't really shown me anything, honestly, in the 2 years he's taken over for Ime Udoka. But he's done a good job in his finals so far, whether it's bringing Joe Mazzulla has done an outstanding job. He has done an outstanding job. I got to tip my hat to him and bring kudos as we bring in Bishop J. Mack, who joins us here live on tonight. Bishop J. Mack, what's going on?
What's happening, brother?
Just talking about the 2-0 lead that currently the Dallas Mavericks find themselves in the hole against the Boston Celtics right now. Celtics up 2-0. And honestly, I was just extolling the virtue of Joe Mazzulla, who has not really shown himself to be a great X's and O's coach, but has made some really smart, powerful decisions in this series. Firstly, bringing Porzingis off the bench, which was smart. There's some news about Porzingis, which we got to get to as well. And that might be a game changer, but we'll see how Mazzulla responds. But so far, 2 games into the NBA Finals, tell us what you see so far, J-Mac.
They've done it basically without Tatum. I mean, Tatum really has been like kind of being a jack of all trades in the series. I think they've exposed Luka on the defensive end. If you noticed, they once they blow, everything has been a blow by. It's sad. He just does not have the lateral movement. JT, once he gets into the teeth, he blows by him, and then he sprays it out for wide open. They collapse on him, and it's really pitch and catch. That's what it's been.
Offense, and they've exploited the fact that you can tell Luka was never really a really good
never
anyway, but you can tell he's hurt. You can definitely tell he's hurt. So he's even worse now because he can't stay in front of anybody right now.
He can't stay in front of anyone, and they are taking it. They are every time they get that switch, they get the matchup, and they blow by, get into the teeth. They're getting backdoor late. They're going backdoor. I mean, they're really picking apart the Dallas Mavericks. Listen, God, like you said, got to tip your hat to Mazzulla. I have nothing negative to say about him so far. He's pushed all the right buttons, and
I think it was very smart to bring Porzingis off the bench, as not to throw him back into the fold as a starter. That starting unit plays very well with the old man in there in the middle, in the person of Al Horford, who has done a phenomenal job and works very well with that starting unit. And hitting that 3, being a stretch 5 in that lineup, it really helps. And he's getting it done on a defensive end at his age, which is really interesting to see. Y'all like, share, tag, and comment. We want y'all to get involved in the conversation tonight. Again, it's not on my regular personal page, but if you go to the Dwayne Loadholt page, not D. Elias Loadholt, you'll be able to see it there. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard in my personal page right now, but we are still live on YouTube. We are still live on on our regular Church Guy Sports Show podcast Facebook page, and we're also live on X. So we are live, and again, this podcast will be available for download tomorrow morning, 12:01. This podcast will be available for download. So one thing that I'm seeing, Kyrie Irving looks a little lost right now.
I don't know. I have no answers for it. I mean, his shooting percentages these first 2 games, I'm very shocked.
Yeah.
And it's not really the defense. He's missing shots. He's taking bad shots, which we haven't seen all playoff from him. He's been spectacular, but listen, he's been taking bad shots. And I mean, who would have thought that Kyrie would be getting outplayed by the Celtics point guard?
Drew Holiday. Yeah.
Who would have thought that Drew Holiday would be outplaying outplaying Uncle Drew at this point. He looking more like Uncle Drew
than Uncle Drew is, right?
Yeah, you know.
It's interesting. I don't know if maybe some of that has to do with that return to Boston, and he's playing with that chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to be a lot better tomorrow night in Dallas.
I think that's it. But I'm surprised that that's it. I thought that he would be more mentally tough, and I thought he would have been more mentally tough going back there. I mean, he's been there like. He's been gone from Boston for about 4 or 5 years now.
He's been gone from Boston for a while, but then you've got to remember he went to Brooklyn that first year. I think the first time they went to Boston that first year he was hurt. I'm not sure if he played that second time they went to Boston. Then of course there was 2020, which was the COVID year, which was a little wonky. So I'm not even sure he played in Boston.
Well, he played on the road. He wasn't playing at home.
Yeah, he was playing on the road.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to remember if he played in Boston that year either.
Was that the year he was burning the sage in there? Was that the year?
Yes, that was the year.
So he played because he was burning the sage in there.
So maybe it's just the finals and the fact that he's in this place. Mike McFadden, what's going on, bro? Good to see you as always.
Good to see you, my man.
Good to see you as always. Glad you're here. Again, like, share, tag, and comment as everybody starts to come in now. Kyrie he looks lost. I
am absolutely shocked, bro. I'm absolutely shocked at what I'm seeing from Kyrie Irving, man. I mean, it's not him.
No, not at all. This has not been the Kyrie Irving that we were expecting. And, kudos to Boston. They've been getting it done. But enough can't be said right now about the way Jaylen Brown is playing. I think he heard us. I think he's finally decided, you know what? I'm going to be the alpha. This is my team. And I'm going to be that guy. And I'm going to take this on my shoulders. And I'm going to be the dominant player that they expected me to be. I'm going to finally live up to this $300 million contract that I got, which at the time, he didn't deserve it, to be honest with you. I'm just keeping it real. He did not deserve $300 million when he first got it.
Listen, we all said it. I mean, no secret. I said it. But he has definitely become the $300 million man in these playoffs, especially from the ECF
finals. Yep.
All the way into the going into the third game of the finals. He's been nothing short of spectacular. I mean, he's found that killer instinct.
He's found that killer instinct, and that's dangerous. But then again, the series is far from over, as we've seen in these playoffs. Teams go up 2-0, and then the series ends up going 7. So I'm not going to sit here and say Dallas is out of it. They're going home.
I'm not ready to say that they're done yet.
No, and especially if they get Game 3 tomorrow. It's one game at a time. Again, Jason Kidd is a veteran, was a veteran player who played in the finals for Dallas, who went down 2-0 as a player, so he knows what it's like to be in this position, down 2-0 going home.
And Kyrie knows what it means to be down 3-1.
Right. So
he's been in this position. So I'm not ready to count Dallas out.
No,
especially with some home cooking.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dallas will be much better at home. What I'd like to see is, and I saw Kidd going a little bit more to it toward the end of Game 2, is getting Daniel Gafford more involved in the offense, because they have no post defenders when Porzingis is out of the game, and Daniel Gafford abused Horford in the post. And then when they tried to go to JT on him, he's got 4 inches on JT, so he abused Jason Tatum in the post. You've got to exploit that, especially if Luka's going to be hurt and if Kyrie's not giving you what you expect Kyrie to give you. Daniel Gafford becomes a very important piece. What I'd like to see Jason Kidd do more now to hide Luka a little bit more defensively, since he can't really move, is they're going to have to go to play a little bit more zone.
I agree. And Boston struggles against the zone as long as they don't find the soft spot, which is against Luka. Like you said, they need to hide Luka. I think you hide Luka on the wing when you go zone. Don't let him play at the top of the key. Hide him on the wing. That way you have the baseline as an extra defender to help him out if he goes baseline. You have the baseline will be the extra defender.
Right.
So I believe that's the way to go. I agree with you totally. Go zone, hide Luka on the wing. so that if they go baseline, you got somebody that can sag down, and you got the baseline as the extra defender. That's the only thing that's going to help you at this point.
And
yeah.
PJ Washington is versatile enough where you can put him up top with Kyrie, and he can be that kind of roamer, if you will, on the defensive end that can kind of play up top and guard the guards up top, but also can drop down if they need to double. Now, you're going to give up a lot of threes, but as we've seen, Boston just has really since the ECF, we expected them to come back down to earth, and they have. That pace that they were shooting with for most of the season from three was not sustainable. And we just kept saying it. We just waited for somebody to stick a pin in that balloon. And it finally happened. And this is more like it. You weren't going to see these. Drew Holiday is not a knockdown three-point shooter. Jason Tatum is not either. The only real knockdown three-point shooter they got is Porzingis. But speaking of Porzingis, news coming out today that he has a torn tendon in his right leg.
And that's the layman way of saying it, because the technical way of saying it. Listen,
yeah, we're not even doing it. I read it over like 4 times. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying this.
You did good, bro. That's all I want to tell you. You did good. You did good.
So Porzingis with a torn tendon, and he is now been downgraded to questionable for Game 3.
They're not letting him play.
He said he's going to do everything he can to play.
But
I don't think he plays in Game 3.
They're not letting him play. This is too risky for his career.
Agreed.
They're not gonna let him play. I mean, the Players Association would have a fit. I mean, and Jaylen Brown is the prez. So he's gotta look past himself as a teammate and be the NML the Players Association president. He can't. They're not going to allow that to happen.
They can't. I mean, and he's too valuable to the Celtics franchise. And yes, granted, it is the finals, but I mean, they're like, oh, he's going to try to play. I'm like, that's a torn tendon.
No,
shut him down. He's done.
I'm telling you,
he's
Bishop,
done. He's done for the season.
He's not getting. If he's out there, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot of shadow.
Right, as fragile as he already is.
Exactly.
Putting him out there, like, we're not talking about some kind of Iron Man, Iron Horse. We're not talking about Kobe Bryant in his prime here, who we know, was an Iron Man during his career. And so when he tore that Achilles and then came back and still shot free throws, that's a different scenario. This guy has been, Plastic Man his entire career. Porzingis and non-contact basketball injuries just go together, and I don't
listen.
Know what
this guy trips over the air and gets hurt. Okay,
basically.
Okay, he trips over the air. So that's
the disadvantage when you're a unicorn. When you're 7'4", and he's never really put on weight.
Never since he's been. Even when he was with the Knicks, I mean,
I get why he hasn't, because that affects his athleticism. It would, but for longevity's sake, the only way you last over 7 feet in this league is to put on some weight.
The pounding of this 82-game season, it takes its toll on you, and especially if you don't have weight. I mean, they're saying the same thing about Wembanyama right now, that eventually he's going to have to put on at least 15 pounds of muscle, at least 15 to 20 pounds of muscle, if he's going to sustain a long career. Yao Ming had to put on pounds. You look at Shaq when he came into the league. Shaq
put on weight.
He
had to bulk up, because once you start taking that pounding, and Mike, you're absolutely right. He says a lot of bigs in this area are plastic. It's true.
Let's not even go down the line. We already, listen, one comes to mind already.
You the guy in Philadelphia,
and the guy in LA. I mean,
the guy in LA. These are bigs who, and that can spark a whole nother conversation. Into one of the biggest differences in eras. And again, I'm not big on comparing eras, but it just seems like the players were a lot more durable in previous eras than they are once we got into the mid 2000s. And with all of this talk of load management and all these different things and all of this extra rest, I mean, when you saw Kobe, when you saw Jordan, when you saw Patrick Ewing, who had some knee trouble early in his career, but that resolved itself out. These are guys who worked out year round. Now you've got players that take time off in the summertime, and you're taking games off during the regular season, and even the practices are not what they used to be in terms of the strain. And I think it hurts the bigs in this. Well, honestly, from the wings to the bigs, the only people it really doesn't hurt that much are the smaller point guards, because for the most part, for them, because they're lower to the ground, their center of gravity is a lot lower. They're not high flyers. But when you get from that 6'5", 6'6" on up range, these guys are not durable anymore.
And there's another thing I think that we're not taking into consideration, and I don't know if you'll agree. I think it's also the era of positionless basketball too. I think positionless basketball
horrible
has
horrible.
I'll let you say it.
But horrible.
Positionless basketball where everybody's switching. Patrick Ewing was a center. He played center. I was looking at a clip the day before yesterday, and it was Alonzo Mourning versus Shawn Kemp. And it was a great matchup. Alonzo Mourning was getting buckets in that game. And he scored like 40-something points. I think Kemp had like 23. But Zoe, every now and then he would stretch out and hit a three. But for the most part, he was below the dotted circle, hitting hooks, dunking. He played his position. Kemp, power forward. He was a 4. He played a 4. He didn't try to be a 2. He didn't try to be a 1. He played the 4. Zoe played the 5. These guys with this positionless basketball, I think that, and I think that the conditioning on top of that, I think all of that contributes to the injuries, man. I just do.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, in this whole idea of positionless basketball, we could thank David Fizdale for that nonsense. But
horrible. I'm with you. Horrible.
It was one of the worst things that could have happened to the NBA as a whole, because you need positions. You need guys who play the positions. The positions were demarked by certain roles. So people knew what their roles were on the court. They knew what the expectation was of them on the court, what they needed to be doing. As Keisha Carter joins us, they understood. And I often call Patrick Ewing the original stretch 5. And
yes, he was a mid-range center. Yes.
But like you said, when you watch his clips, when you watch his highlights, the bulk of his baskets are around the basket, and he would pop out and shoot that 20-footer when the defense collapsed on him,
just
or
to keep him honest. That's right.
When they tried to pack the paint on him, or if they knew he was getting doubled, if he was going to get doubled on the wing, or if he had a guy like Shaq on him, who he knew Shaq wasn't going to come out there to guard that,
he was going to kill him.
He was going to kill him from 20 feet.
That's it. And I think this, like I said, it's positionless basketball. That's why you're seeing so many of these injuries, man. You got guys that are trying to play the 4. I mean, just look at our Knicks. Josh Hart averaged the most rebounds. And he was what?
6'5".
6'5", and he was averaging double-digit rebounds more than our centers. I mean, so that just goes to show you position. And then you got them switching. Everything is a switch. Everything is a switch.
That drives me crazy. As a from the coach in me, that drives me crazy.
I know it does.
You can't switch everything. You can't. You just cannot switch everything, because there's just certain matchups, like that game that the Knicks lost going toward the end of the season against Shea and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. That last play of the game, they got the switch they wanted, and you've got Deuce McBride, who great. Deuce is a great perimeter defender, but Shea is 6'7".
Too little. Too little.
He just shot over him.
Shot right over him. No contest. It was a wide open shot, basically.
Essentially, and that's what lost that game. You can't. There are some times where you just can't switch everything. So just to, again, y'all like, y'all share, y'all tag, y'all comment, y'all come on in, y'all get everybody in here today. Again, like the post. on our page, on our Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube account, and don't forget to download this episode of the podcast tomorrow morning, 12:01. It'll be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. It'll be everywhere tomorrow morning. Tonight, tomorrow morning, 12:01. It'll be available for you. Keisha, what's going on?
Nothing. Yo, is KP out?
Yes. Well,
it looks so. Yeah, it's a tendon injury.
See, but we said this the last time, didn't we say this?
I hope you're not with Bishop because you know he better not catch you on that phone.
He called me last night and was like, "I know you don't love me like you love the Knicks."
He called me the other day. It was like, what? I got to get you tickets to a game in order to get you to come to New York to see me. I'm like, sir.
Yeah.
But yes.
He's hurt.
We spoke about that though, didn't we say that? But
we said it in the beginning of the season.
We said it in the beginning, but I thought the last game, game 2, he played a little bit too hard. He overdid it. I thought he overdid it. And I can tell because they said it too. Because even when I don't know who he was trying to go, it's not me, it's your brothers.
No, he's saying he gonna put you on the logo.
We're gonna add you. We're gonna change the logo from guys to guys and gals.
And you're no longer a guest. You're no longer a guest.
I'm taking the special guest off of this. So
you're no longer a guest. That's what he's saying.
I need you to send me a picture for the new flyer.
Yeah.
But anyway, while we're at it, pick one of the 9 million you got.
I'm glad to join the family, and I'm glad we changed the song. Anyway, so back to what I was saying before.
We're behaving today, Keisha. We're behaving.
Oh, you're right. I don't want to get blocked.
Continue.
I've been very quiet, by the way. I've been very quiet.
Same here. He was on live talking about the fact that we were quiet yesterday. But go ahead, Keisha.
He's a no-show. But what I was saying is that I think KP, he overdid it. Yeah, I forgot who shot. He was blocking so many people's shot, but I don't know who shot he was blocking on offense. And he literally he fell out of bounds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw that play.
Yeah, and even when he got up, did y'all see the way he was just like tapping his knee? And I was just like, yo, it's okay for you to sit out. You don't have to overdo it. I know they want you there because they need you, because without you, I don't know.
Well, listen, he's always been fragile. This is right. This is who we're dealing with.
It's a torn tendon. So it's another non-contact basketball injury. So this has been his career. And, I don't even think they brought him back too fast. I do agree with your sentiment in the fact that he did go a lot harder in the minutes that he played. He had something to prove. This is his first taste of the finals. And I get it. That adrenaline starts going and you start. Quite honestly, I believe that's what happened to OG Anunoby in our series as well on that fast break.
I was going to say that
was having a game as well. He was killing. And that adrenaline starts going. You having a great game. And you start pushing even harder, and you're just coming back from an injury.
And you're not paying attention to what you're doing. You're just out there free flowing.
Just moving.
And you're not being cautious. So you're just playing what they call it to the wind. You're just playing to the wind, and all of a sudden,
going with the flow, and you doing too much, and you're trying to pull a point, but you don't need to really pull a point because how many points he dropped the first game? He dropped what?
20.
He dropped 20 in the first. He had 18 in the first half. 18 in the first half, he scored 20 for the game. The game was out of reach, so he didn't have to do much.
Who is doing over you?
But that's right. But this is what we were talking about before you came on. The fact that when you're at that height, 7'3", 7'4", one of the biggest things is that you learn in the NBA is because of the rigors of that season and the banging your body takes for 82 games, you got to put on weight. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to sustain in that league. You gotta put on weight.
That was Marcus Camby's problem. He couldn't put on weight. His body just would not adapt to him gaining weight, and then he would, subsequently he started getting hurt.
Started breaking down. Yeah.
Started breaking down because he didn't have the weight. And that's what we were saying, Keisha, about Wembanyama. He's in the same category. He's gonna have to put on weight. Tim Duncan, when he came in the league, Tim Duncan
Tim Duncan had to put on weight.
Tim Duncan put on weight.
And he did.
These guys.
And he did.
David Robinson, all of them. Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing, they all had to bulk up.
All of them. They had to put on that weight because he's very fragile. Like, even though he was blocking balls and stuff like that, but I look how easily somebody can just go like this, and he's just like...
You blow on him, and he's just going down.
Blow your house down.
I'm like, whoa. I was like, please, nobody don't touch him. Just leave.
So, Keish, we got it from J Mac. What is your assessment of the Dallas Mavericks through the first two games, and what do they need to do in order to turn things around for themselves in this series?
So I'm gonna be real. So the second game, I kind of didn't watch. I was tending to mommy, so I was with mommy a little bit. So I kind of didn't watch. But I will say this: I tried to see. I did notice a little bit of the adjustments that they made on the second game. I did notice a little bit, but I feel like, and maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the Mavs have the matchup when it comes to KP. I don't think they have it. And I don't know who the guy's name was, but who was guarding him the first game. Who was the guy that was guarding him the first game?
Derek Lively.
I didn't understand that whole concept. I didn't understand
why. 5 fouls in 15 minutes in game one.
I didn't understand that. And they kept putting him back on him. And I was like, yo, why do you keep doing that? You know what I mean?
He's a rookie. He kept falling for that pump fake at the foul line.
Every single time.
Every
single time. It wasn't working. And that was killing them. Their adjustments they didn't make no adjustments when it came to that. I thought Kyrie, he was okay. I think Kyrie really let the crowd get to him a little bit. Because
you said that, Bishop.
That was really hard to adjust to when you have a whole crowd saying Kyrie sucks. Like,
yeah, but he's a veteran.
I know,
right.
But
at 31 years old, that shouldn't be affecting
you.
This ain't your first finals.
That's light work to you. Should be light work to
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
Right.
Should be light work to you.
Kyrie ain't no kid. He's not 18.
Should be light, but I felt like you could tell like he was playing, but he allowed his emotions to play for him. And that's what led him to miss those shots that he missed. That's what I mean. How many 3-pointers did they miss the first game?
And free throws the second game.
They got free throw shooting in the second game was after.
It was like I
thought I was watching the Knicks.
You know?
They was making so many emotional choices. I would say that. That's how I feel. I feel like Kyrie did that. I feel like he allowed that to get to him, or whatever. But I really would have loved to see. I think they could have won game 2, though.
Do you think that maybe it was the moment was too big for them? I mean, Dallas is a young team for the most part.
It's very young. This is new for them, but not Kyrie though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kyrie is the only one with finals experience on that team. I believe Luka's never been to the finals.
No.
And everyone else is young. Daniel Gafford was playing on a bad Washington team. PJ Washington just came over, and as good as he's been, he didn't even really have playoff experience coming in. These are guys who, as good as they are, the finals is a big moment.
It is.
All the eyes are on you. All of
and
the
I
eyes
felt
are
like
on you. You're one of the last two teams standing.
What right? But I feel like the second game, instead of Kyrie's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to lead, and I feel like the second game it was nobody but Luka.
And we were also talking about Luka on the defensive end. If you go back and look at the tape, they're blowing right by him.
Yeah,
it's everything. Anybody, they switch, and they get Tatum on him. Tatum goes right by him. He draws the defense in, sprays it out. And because Luka, once he gets by Luka stops pursuing.
Luka is clearly injured.
He's injured, and he doesn't play defense as it is. So.
Right. He's not a good defender already, and then on top of that, he's hurt. So it's a perfect storm for Luka now.
It's a must-win for Dallas in Game 3. It's a must.
And that's when I feel like, where's Kyrie at then? Where is he? Knowing that, Luka is playing the way that he is, I didn't really see him step up like he should have. I
think the home cooking will be.
I think the home game will definitely be a major adjustment for him. But he has to learn how to deal with that, though, because you're still going to have to go back to Boston at some point. You can't allow that to get to you. If you're gonna allow that to get to you, then give it up there.
Yeah, because Game 5 and 7 is in Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
Game 5 and Game 7 is in Boston. So if you win all your home games, you go into Boston for Game 7.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
You gotta win there eventually.
You got to. You got to. And I felt like the last game he could have won. From what I've seen, I came in, I was like I said, I was watching in between, but from what I've seen, I felt like they could have had that. I don't know. They could have had that game. Because they didn't beat them by a lot.
They were making a run and then they put KP back in. They were making their run and then they put Kristaps back in. And then during that run is when he got when they stopped the run, that's when he got hurt. Like near, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I want Dallas to win. I don't know if KP's gonna play. It could be. If he doesn't, I think it might swing the series.
Yeah, I was gonna say if KP can't go, which I think we all agree he shouldn't go. With a torn tendon, non-contact injury, you rip that thing off, you lose an entire season next season.
Listen, his injury got an injury. That's what happened. His injury got an injury.
Basically.
You looking at somebody. I work in the orthopedics department. Okay, I'm the coordinator. I look at these injuries almost every single day. You talking about soon as that tear comes in, it's over. You know how long it takes for you to heal from that? And not
months, sometimes a year, and that's without physical. You got to heal before you can get physical therapy. That's before physical therapy. Yeah, that's before physical therapy. Ask me how I know. I'd have been to many an orthopedic surgeon in my day for examination,
myself included.
So that's what I'm saying. Before you even talking about rehab, you gotta heal. That's why that MCL and that ACL. It takes forever because you got to heal first before you can even rehab it. So his injury got an injury.
They did say that they looking at his future and stuff like that, and they talking about how they didn't want to jeopardize it. And I said to myself, you should have thought about that in the beginning because he wasn't supposed to be out there in the first place. Don't try to do that now. It kind of, in a way, remind me of how the Knicks coaches, in a way.
Oh, well, listen, we put Anunoby out there. I'll be honest with you. I look back on that. I don't know if that was the best decision. I think that kind of deep sixed us, like those first couple minutes he was out there. We got behind the 8 ball, and that was it, But again, that's just playing armchair quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, and with Game 7, Anunoby wanted to be out there. And
but that's what I'm saying. Kristaps wants to be out there now, too. They gotta protect him from himself.
But that was just it. Once Tibbs saw that Anunoby couldn't go, he said, "Okay, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done." And I just think with and with Anunoby, we were just talking about a hamstring strain.
Right? He didn't rip it.
Like Porzingis tore a tendon.
This is a torn tendon. They're not going to let him get out there trying to run up and down the court.
No, that's crazy.
No, that's crazy if they allow
I don't care what he says. They're not going to let the Celtics are not going to let that happen.
That is crazy.
Right. That downgrade to questionable was really more to play mind games with the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think they're playing him.
No. Because when he was talking about, my MRI is going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. No.
Right, and now
not the way you was whipping off the court.
And you see the result of the MRI. So now that you got the results, they're not going to. He has to run. He has to jump. He has to slide. That's not going to happen with a torn tendon.
Nope,
it's not going to happen.
So, do you think the Celtics got a chance now if he's out?
I think the Mavericks got a chance now. I do. I think they got a better chance. I think. Even with him playing, I think Dallas would have competed. But I think now for sure, with him not being out there, not being that stretch 5, and then not being able to block, they had twin towers on defense. You had Al Horford and you had Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
You had twin towers defending the paint. But now it's going to be I'm not saying the Celtics can't win. I'm saying now
it's going to be a
fight. Has a chance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be. Can we talk about where Tatum was?
Oh, we mentioned him. This is no longer Tatum's team.
Why
Jaylen Brown is the
people
alpha.
think that? Why do people think disappearing is the? Why do people think that disappearing?
Well, because they said he's
That's
doing
what I
other
call
things. They say that he's doing other areas. He's performing in other areas.
Listen, to his credit, he is. His assist
Yeah.
numbers are
He's
up.
yes.
He's
I mean,
playing well.
he had no
his
choice.
shooting, right? His shooting isn't there. But Jaylen Brown has. You could tell it. I mean, I don't know if you listen like in between plays as they had the sounds of the game on last night's game. Well, I'm sorry, on Sunday's game, and you know, you saw like Jaylen Brown was clearly in everybody's ear. He has taken on the role of the vocal leader of this team. He has taken on that role, and it suits him. I had to say, I'm like, I like this version of Jaylen Brown. I think this is a scary version of Jaylen Brown, and if he's able to sustain this, you know, it might be time. It might be time for them to move on from Tatum.
And he's taking over the role of what Marcus Smart used to be when Marcus Smart was there. Marcus Smart was the clear vocal leader of that team. He was the clear leader, the vocal leader, the emotional leader. He was the one that would be in everybody's ear. He would be clapping on the court. He would take the charges. It was Marcus Smart. And when he left, Jaylen Brown said that it was his job to step up and be the leader. But, I mean, now he's really taking it over in every aspect. I mean, before JT still was, you know, being the offensive leader. But JT now, he's the clear number 2 option on the team now. He's not the one. It's not 1-1A anymore.
He's not.
It's
it's
1
not
and 2. That's what it is. It's not a 1A 1B situation.
It's a 1 and 2 right now.
Yes, it's a 1 and 2.
If Boston was to get the chip, JB is definitely getting MVP without a doubt.
And the good thing is that Boston already paid him, so they don't have to worry about having to sign him or re-sign him or extend him.
Exactly.
He's already he's in the second year of a $300 million contract.
Yeah.
He's in the second year of that contract.
Second year.
Yeah, so the contract is just getting started, so they don't have to worry about JB. Now Tatum, they're talking about giving him $300 million.
Not smart.
They are. Yeah. They're talking about giving them $300 million too.
Because they really determined that they're gonna get this chip.
Well, they determined that they're gonna appease Tatum. You know, because those years that Tatum, when Brown didn't step up, it was Tatum and they lived and died with Tatum. You know, now it's like, okay, if Tatum, okay, all right, JB, you got us. Because JB really wasn't stepping up. Like we've never seen this version of Jaylen Brown. We haven't seen this version of him. So
I don't know if that's a good idea, just from the standpoint of. I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea either. I don't. Just from the standpoint of
we've been saying this forever that they should break that.
They should break it. They're gonna have to, because you can't give them both $300 million, because from a CBA standpoint, you can't sign anybody.
No,
you can't sign anybody.
Those tiers are crazy now.
And it's going to put you on that second tier, which means then your draft pick is frozen. You can't even trade it. You can't offer a real solid player a mid-level exception. And there's talk that with this new CBA, we're talking about mid-level might be worth $13 million. Do you know how huge that will be to get a solid veteran at the mid-level? Like, you're not getting no garbage at the mid-level now. You're going to be getting guys who can still ball at the mid-level, because you're going to have a 34-year-old guy playing at the mid-level, because that's $13 million a year. That's still really good money. We're not talking about $3-4 million like the mid-level is now.
They setting themselves up.
So you can't give him $300
Well, they're going to mortgage the future to get for the one chip. That's what they're doing. They're going to mortgage.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
They're not trying to be a dynasty. Because, again, it's going to be hard to even be a dynasty under this new CBA. You're not going to see these 2 and 3 year runs from teams winning 2 and 3 straight.
Not from Boston.
No, but nobody's going to be doing that. No one's going to. The last dynasty was Golden State. That was it.
The only team that will have an outside shot to do that, and I'm not being a homer, I promise, is the New York Knicks.
And that's because of the way that they're set up with their draft picks.
Right,
and
exactly.
cap.
They're like the only team that has structured their deals.
But
in
look
such
how
a
long
way.
it took them to get there.
Listen.
It's there.
And I gotta send it to. I gotta send you the list, Keisha. I've started some research because one of the episodes that we'll be doing in a couple of weeks is we're gonna count down the 10 worst GMs in New York Knicks history.
Woo!
Yes, we're gonna.
I better have my Pepto Bismol candy.
We're gonna take a show and we're gonna count down the 10 worst in New York Knicks history. So I sent in our regular church guys group chat. I guess I need to add you to it now. I'm afraid to because we get a little crazy in there sometimes.
You want to do that?
You gotta send me your phone number so I can add
Do
you to the
you
group.
not see my
But,
page every day?
We got to clean it up now. We got to
Do
clean
you
it up.
not see my page every
No. She
day?
want to be in the chat. That means she gonna get it like everybody else.
She's a lady. She's a lady.
We treat her like one of the fellas. She gonna get treated like one of the fellas
Oh.
in the group chat. She gonna get treated. She play ball. She know how it is. She gonna get
Listen,
treated like one of the brothers.
I know she know her ball. Listen.
You know those rare occasions when a girl would come to the park and play on the court with us, and we didn't
give her no mercy.
Right, we
That's
didn't
right.
treat the girl like she was a girl. So Keisha's gonna get that treatment.
Listen, we was hand checking y'all. We was hand checking them and
They did
everything.
not play me like I was a girl. They was checking me like I was a dude on the court. They ain't care.
Nah, Mike. We can't have two separate ones. It's one chat. Then I'm gonna add. You're gonna add.
Nah, Keisha's all right.
You now, Keisha. Your boy Davey. He gets out of. He's the worst one of us. I'm just gonna.
I do know this.
Dave is the worst one of us.
I do know this.
But we do get a little crazy in there. But I sent over into the chat that we currently have that a list of all from the beginning of every single general manager, president of basketball operations, and every president that we've had in their tenure. So the guys can start looking and seeing who they want to rank. And I'm gonna come back next week and we're gonna start compiling the rankings. We already know who number one is. Like I can't even front. I think we already know who number one is. Number one is probably going to Phil. But but we'll
it's a tie. It's a tie. It's a tie. Because
Well,
it's
yeah, yeah.
We ain't gonna talk too much, but it's a tie.
Two former NBA players. We'll just put it that way.
Yes, it's a tie.
We'll put it that way. Two former NBA players. But yeah, I'll add you to the group, and we're gonna start that. So that show will be coming up probably in July. To give everybody a chance to get their stuff together as far as that goes. Shifting gears from the NBA Finals again. That game 3 tomorrow night from Dallas. 8:30 tip off on ABC. Got to shift gears, and I'm going to say something that's controversial. And we are on a tight hour tonight because I actually have a conference call I got to jump on in a little while. But I got to get this out. WNBA. The firestorm of the week, of course, involves Caitlin Clark because what doesn't these days? But here is an issue. No, one was a point guard. The other one played the 3 and was a hippie. But we'll talk about that when we get to it, Mike.
Yes. But good job, McFadden. Good job.
You got one of them.
Good job.
The United States women's basketball team was announced yesterday. And I think that the roster is perfect. However, there are some people who disagree with the roster because one Caitlin Clark was left off of the Olympic roster for Paris 2024. Y'all have at it.
Keisha, I'm going to let you go first.
She had to get a drink first. Wait.
Get your sip of water in.
Right, clear your palate so you could go.
So, all right. So y'all know Caitlin Clark, she's a good ball player. I like her. She's not my favorite, even though I do defend her a lot in certain areas, but she's not my favorite. Y'all already know who my girl is. My girl
you about to be mad at me though because you defend Caitlin Clark. You about to be mad at me. But go ahead.
I
got a hot take.
My girl. I'm waiting for Juju. That's
you got 3 more years. She was a freshman.
I know, but I'm just waiting.
And there's no early entry in the WNBA yet. You got to play all 4 years of college.
There's too much drama going on. But however, I'm going to.
Jordan is coming. Relax. Jordan is coming.
Jordan is coming. But what I was gonna say is that I'm gonna have to agree. I don't think she should be on the team.
Why
I don't
not?
think she should. I don't think she should be on the team because of the fact that look at the players on the team. They already have everybody that is meant to be on that team. Where are you putting her? What? Because she makes threes? She's not.
Nafisa Collier, Kalia Cooper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Sabrina Ionescu, Julie
Where are you
Lloyd,
putting
Kelsey
her?
Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, and Jackie Young.
Where
Who
are
you removing?
you putting
Who
Kelsey
are
her?
you
Plum?
removing?
You removing
Where
Kelsey
you
Plum or
putting
you removing
her?
Diana Taurasi? Who you
Where
removing?
you
You're not
putting
removing
her?
Diana Taurasi.
Are you removing? You're not removing Kelsey
You're
Plum
not
either?
removing Kelsey Plum.
Who
That's your,
is
like
removing
Diana
Kelsey Plum?
Taurasi is
Where are
coming
you
off the
putting her?
bench on this team.
Where are you putting her? I have to agree, she is very fragile. She does need to get her weight up. She does need to get her game up in certain areas. But where are you putting this girl? Look at this lineup. All these girls have paid the way to be on that team. She's not needed. Period.
Go ahead,
She's
J-Mac.
not needed. But I understand about where they're coming from as far as the money aspect, the marketing, and everything else like that. But that's not it.
But
That's not
this
what
is
it
the
is.
WNBA. The Olympics don't need their help.
That's not what it is. It's totally different. This
Right.
is the Olympics.
The
This is
Olympics is
completely
going to have an
different.
audience regardless. It's the Olympics.
They don't need.
They need the
Taylor
best
Swift to bring in
players.
money for the women's NBA.
Right.
You have a whole lineup right there that's going to bring in that
Firstly-
attention as it is.
Firstly,
It's not
the
needed.
Paris Olympics are already sold out. Like they don't need extra
Nobody
eyeballs.
knows her over there. Let's be real. Who know Bishop McKay? Who knows her over there? Who knows her?
That's strictly American. When last year I went to France. I had the opportunity to go to France, and they were preparing for
Right.
the Olympics. When me and my wife went over there, we went over there because our son was over there performing. I don't know if you remember, Bishop.
Mhm.
I went over to France, and we had a great time. But you could see the preparation. So yeah, the Olympics was sold out when they as soon as they said it was going to be. First of all, it's France.
It's France,
It's
right?
France.
It's France. People
It's
are going because it's France. They going for the country.
City.
That's the first point.
They going
It's
for the
France.
country.
Number two, you're talking about the world. That's number two. Get out of the United States. Here
Right.
you go with your arrogance again.
Right.
It's not about you, okay?
Not.
I know y'all don't want to hear this, America. It's not about you.
It's not.
This is the world, okay? The world is descending on the Olympics, not the United States. It's the world. That's number two. Number three, I was listening to Rebecca Lobo, Hall of Famer.
I
Great
heard
point.
her too.
Great
She
point.
made
Great
a good
Did
point.
y'all hear
Fantastic
what she
take.
had to say today?
I did
She
hear
made
her.
the point that, hey, when they were practicing, they had
Yep.
7 practices.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark was not available to even be a part of the practices. So she didn't have the opportunity to be on the team. And you got people talking this junk. She said, let me bring clarity to this. Nobody left her off. She couldn't participate because she was in the NCAA tournament. She couldn't practice. She couldn't be on the team. Number 4, as we said, who are we taking off of this team
For her.
just to give her a spot?
Nobody.
What gives her the right to bump somebody out of their spot? Because you just named, listen,
Those are 12 of the best players in the WNBA.
12
and I'm
of
going to
the
tell you
best
like this.
players.
I would be shocked if Team USA even lost the game
Oh, I don't think they're losing
with
the game.
this team.
Heck
They're
no.
not losing
They're not.
again.
No.
They're not losing.
And the 5th point, they keep bringing up this Christian Laettner thing. Christian Laettner didn't even get on the court.
Firstly,
He sat there. He
Christian
didn't
Laettner.
play.
Christian Laettner was only put on the original Dream Team because it was the Dream Team. He was placed on the team because up until that point, there were always college athletes. So in
And he
order
was
to
College Player of the Year.
He was a college
and
player of the year.
And a 2-time champion.
And it was
So that's
between
why he
him and
made it over
Shaq for that
Shaquille.
last spot.
He made it over Shaq.
So he made it. And again, this was a team that was chosen. Again, the difference is this team has already been practicing together.
They've already been playing. That's my point.
Everything
why
has
we
been
gonna we just
established
gonna say, okay,
already. Why
we gonna
interrupt
disrespect
the
Kelsey Plum?
dynamic of that? Why interrupt that?
Right, Mike McFadden. Yes, in that infamous game that they
Leighton
played where
was on the
Magic and Jordan
sideline with
divided up
Bird.
their teams. When Magic and Jordan divided up their teams, Jordan told Magic, "You take the college kid. I don't want him."
Magic said, "You take the college kid. Ain't nothing he can do to help any of these teams.
Right.
Let him sit on the side. He ain't got nothing to do with it."
And he didn't get in the game.
Sure
And
didn't.
Bird sat
In
on
the
the side.
scrimmage, he didn't get in the game.
And Bird didn't play. Bird said, "I'm not playing."
Yeah,
Bird
Bird
decided to sit.
was like, "This is gonna be too competitive. This is not practice. Nope."
I'm gonna sit here and watch this.
Right. I'm saving it for the actual
For
game.
the actual game. Yes. So listen, I'm sorry. You know, they just making a bit. Listen, the girl gotta pay her dues. I'm sorry. She gotta
Like
pay her
every
dues. She had a
rookie-
good game against the Mystics the other night. She scored 30 points, but it was against the winless Mystics. But it's against a WNBA team. You saw glimpses of what she could do. Okay? Great, wonderful. She's not ready. She ain't ready.
Let me get my
No.
hot take.
And my last point, Bishop.
Go ahead.
What was it? What's the chair of the committee? She spoke.
She did. I
Yes.
posted on my page. She
said, "It ain't our job to get ratings. It was our job to pick the best team and put the best team on the floor. And that was the
their
best
focus.
answer she could have given.
That was her focus. Yep.
It was strictly about basketball.
That's
which
what she
is
said.
what it should be.
That's exactly what she said. She said we wasn't doing this to think about marketing, to think about money. We were thinking it's about creating an Olympic team. And that's exactly what they did.
And the
Every
Olympic
person
team
on
is
that
not the
team
it's not the
dropped more than 15
WNBA.
points a game.
You know who bothered me the most with this?
Oh, I know who you're gonna say.
Shannon Sharp.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say his
I thought
running
you were gonna
buddy.
say Steve
SA. I
Nash.
thought you were gonna say SA too.
SA was bad, but it was Shannon Sharp made a point on First Take this morning comparing Caitlin Clark to Sha'Carri Richardson. And that bothered me.
Why?
Because he made this whole big deal about now Sha'Carri Richardson is probably the most popular sprinter in all of track and field.
Right. She's the most popular Olympic athlete. Yes. Olympic.
But for the World Championships last year, she didn't qualify. She lost. And Shannon said at the time that she should have been better because she is the best runner in the world, which is all true. And she didn't go to the trials as prepared as she should have been. And she didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve a spot just based on the fact that she's the most popular. I agree with that take. How do you then a year later, and yeah, I'm going to say it, take a Caucasian basketball player and now tell me that she deserves a spot on the national team when she's not better than any of the 12 players who were chosen ahead of her?
What's the young lady that they said she's been injured, but they believe she's going to be healthy?
Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray.
They believe that she's going to be healthy in time for the.
Yeah, Mike McFadden. Those Jamaicans wasn't playing the trials.
And I was going to say
they was out.
I was going to say don't underestimate Jamka. Don't underestimate Jamka.
They don't play. They was
That's
out
all the time. They come out there
all
and
the
they
time. They take track. They take track so serious in Jamaica.
Serious. They don't play. Okay.
It is their lifeblood.
Yes.
But I even heard them say, and they was trying to talk about how Candace Parker, how she was a rookie and she made it onto the Olympic team and so
But what was her numbers? Look at her numbers.
Right, Bishop? That's what I'm saying. You can't compare. You can't.
And she was available. But Keisha, she was available. Caitlin Clark was not available. They had 7 practices. She was not available. So now we just gonna bend the rules for her.
But even if Candace Parker wasn't available, it still doesn't make sense. How you?
Her numbers said she should have been. Her number said she should have been on the team.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna make some people mad, and I don't care. Caitlin Clark is overrated.
No, everything is
Yes.
getting overrated right now.
No,
Everything.
but I'm the
I'm tired of all.
having watched and but I'm not just saying it as just someone who just wants to make a hot take. I've watched Caitlin Clark now for 2 years play college basketball and now make the transition into the pros. She is a good player, but a really, really good player who has the potential to potentially be great. Agreed, she needs to get her weight up. She has to learn the difference in the WNBA game.
The
and all of
speed,
those things, the speed of the
everything.
game, absolutely.
Everything.
All those things are true. However, what I'm watching and have watched since she made the transition to the league is a kid with the deer caught in the headlights. And what makes a person overrated is not the skill level, because the skill level is there, but it is the assessment of the skill level. They talk about this girl as if she is the second coming of Larry Bird. She is nowhere close to as polished as Larry Legend was when he walked into the league out of Indiana State back in 1979. She's not even on that level. Mind you, Larry walked onto a team that ended up competing deep into the playoffs that year. They lost in the conference finals to the Philadelphia 76ers, who then lost to another rookie named Irvin Johnson in the finals.
Who played center in that series.
In the deciding game, in game 6, and won the MVP because of it. It had a triple-double playing out of position
Playing
in
center.
game 6 of the NBA Finals. Caitlin Clark didn't even win on the college level. Let that sink in for a second. They want to crown her as the second coming. Michael Jordan in 1982 hit the game-winning shot in the NCAA championship to beat Georgetown.
15-foot baseline jumper.
Magic Johnson beat Larry Bird in the NCAA final.
Nationally televised.
That's an Angel Reese, right?
Listen, let me tell you.
Caitlin Clark. I'm not even putting Angel in that category because right now it's about
saying
Caitlin.
like she beat her in the
Angel Reese beat her. But my point is, she also has not elevated the Indiana Fever.
But let me tell you this.
But the coach sucks, though. Can we agree to that? I told y'all.
And in all fairness, this ain't coming from Caitlin.
No,
it's not. No, it's not. But that's why I say she's overrated.
It's right. It's the people that's rating her. She's not having vibrato like that.
No.
She's not out there beating her chest.
She can't. They beat the crap out of her. She can't.
Yeah. But in all fairness,
poor girl.
She's taking it. She's taking it like a champ. You know, of course, every now and then she say something or she complains. But for the most part, she's going through the growing pains of the league. But it's the people, these talking heads, who keep putting day after day, who keep piling on this girl. I'm like, y'all gonna run out of the league because y'all keep overrating them, putting the pressure on them.
I said this before. I said, Bishop, wasn't me and you talking about this a while?
We did.
I said this before. I said, sooner or later, this is going to die down and it's going to get so boring, so corny to the point nobody's not going to care anymore because they're pushing this. And it's not her. It's really the media and everybody that's pushing this because they feeling like the more we talk about her, the more money's going to come in. And that is when I feel like, to me, this is just me, I feel like, to me, I don't pull the race card all the time when it comes to that because I see that they're just looking at money. They're money hungry right now. And Caitlin Clark is that chick, that white girl.
Well, the WNBA needs it to their credit because they've never had a profitable season in their entire existence.
And they have a chance to have that for the first time this year.
And what I understand, but at this moment, it's coming from a white girl. I don't think that do you get what I'm saying about that? Like, I don't think
I agree.
It's not like a race thing when it comes to that. I think it's just she is just the one. That's who they want, and that's just what it is.
But they'd be so much better at it if you look at the Chicago Sky, who are going to challenge for a playoff spot, and their twin towers of Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo, who are now starting together.
I love that. That's
who are now starting together and getting every rebound.
Cardozo. I love that Cardozo.
If you're looking at the LA Sparks,
she goes like this running down.
The LA Sparks, who are going to be back in contention this year for the first time in a while because of the little rookie named Rakia Jackson.
And the Aces are the Aces. That's all you got to say about that. The Aces are the Aces.
They who they are. Even though Connecticut is
but that Asia Wilson boy.
Listen, Connecticut, they ran into the Liberty the other night. Like it's wide open.
It's the wild.
Like,
we call it the Wild Wild West, but it's the Wild Wild East right now.
There are
really
stars,
open.
but there are literally stars in pretty much on every team.
It reminds me how the 90s
doesn't have to be about Caitlin
Clark. It remind me how David Stern set up the 90s team.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, each team had a marquee player to market that team.
Right.
When it was Charlotte, it was Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning. It was New York, it was Patrick Ewing. In New Jersey, it was Derek Coleman and Kenny Anderson. In Chicago, we know it was Mike. Miami.
Indiana had Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller had Indiana had Reggie Miller.
Everyone had a star player.
Everyone had a star. Orlando had Shaq and Penny. You know,
and this 90s, is where the WNBA is going wrong.
Yes.
If anything, they need to take a page out of the Big Brothers book.
David Stern.
Let's really market everybody.
But this is what
they don't need a face of the league. They have multiple faces.
Yes, they do. But this is what they talked. This is what they talked about before. This is what they said that was their downfall for so many years. Their marketing is horrible.
And it's still bad.
They're still struggling. It's better this year. It's a little better, but they still got a long way to go. They need, again, all they got to do is go back to the David Stern playbook. That's what he did in the 90s. He set out to do that. He made sure every team, when they were going NBA on NBC, every Sunday, there was a marquee. There was a
and I was going to say that
team.
after the Paris Olympic break, when they come back for the second half of the season, they've got to put all of their marquee games on primetime. They've got to. Those have got to be nationally televised games. Every time Chicago Sky plays the Las Vegas Aces, it needs to be nationally televised.
Yes.
Every time the Liberty play the Connecticut Sun, it needs to be nationally televised.
Let me tell you, when I go try to watch the game, and I got the women's league pass, right? The women's league pass where you can see all the games. Mm-hmm. I click on the game, and it always will come up and say, unfortunately, this game cannot be shown up. Why is that? You have us to get this app, right?
Are those Liberty games?
Yes.
Okay, that's why, because you live in New York. The way
blackout.
The way that works is your home team market. Whatever your home team market has, those games are automatically blacked out.
But see, why is that though? Why is that the case? You have us so your whole motive was for us to get the app, so this way you can create that.
They want you to watch other games.
They want
you
to watch the other games.
That's the thing. They don't just want you to watch. I know. I get what you're saying. But they just don't want you to. They don't want you to just watch Liberty games.
Right.
The idea is for you to watch all the games. And to be invested in all the teams and all the games. Like NBA on NBC, when it will be Charlotte and Phoenix playing. We're Knicks fans, but they want us to be invested in Charlotte and Charlotte and Phoenix.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. Some of the other games been boring.
But if you know, like I know, you invest in something, a little app called Fubo.tv.
Yeah, you put me onto that. When I'm in Atlanta, my guy.
It has everything.
J Mac be blacked out. And I'm like, here, use my login. So he logs in with mine, and he's able to watch the games in Atlanta.
Yes. Thank God.
Well, now they got
because I'm not an Atlanta Hawk fan. Please,
right? Nobody wants to watch the net. Nobody wants to watch the Hawks.
But I'm saying, like, but some of the game, I was watching the games on Saturday, and it was like kind of boring. And then what the heck is this freaking gap in between? Like you. Look at the gap we have with the NBA right now, with the NBA Finals. You got this big gap. Why are they not playing as many games as they should with the women's NBA in between?
Well, they've got to spread it out because this is an Olympic year. Firstly, and because of the way the schedule is set up, because the Summer Olympics are in the middle of the summer and it's in the middle of WNBA season. The WNBA season is only 44 games. So they got to spread all the games out to be able to have enough games before the break and enough games after the break.
And
this
to
only
give them
happens like
proper
this.
rest and to be able to give them to pace them.
A rest from the Olympics. Okay.
Yeah, they gotta
Right,
pace them through because it's a long season. You're gonna be playing games in the beginning. You playing the Olympics, and then you got to come back and play that second half. So they got.
So some of these players are gonna play 60 or 70 games this year. So
yes,
this is gonna be almost an NBA season for a lot of them. So they got to
Well,
pace it.
I'll tell you right now, that country, France, they don't need the U.S. for money. They got the money over there.
But we have to send a team to represent. That's the way it works.
We can send a team to represent, but we don't need to be marketing, doing anything over there to get.
Well, they're not. Again, they're not. Like they're going over there to play basketball.
The Olympics markets itself.
That's it.
The Olympics market itself. That's why I didn't understand the whole Caitlin Clark argument that we needed her on the team for views. I'm like, when that women's Olympic team was together
watching
with
the
Dawn
women's Olympic
Staley
team.
at the
Right,
point.
I was watching them long before there was a Caitlin Clark.
Man,
Me too.
Because
Leslie,
I wanted to see how much they was going to blow out these other countries by.
They could listen. I love that commercial that they did when they played them.
Remember that?
I love that commercial. Yes, and they killed them dudes. They killed them dudes out there. They killed them. Dawn Staley was running the point. I was like,
Dawn Staley was a problem, yo.
Listen, man.
She was a problem.
She's still, she's a daggone problem.
Listen.
But I don't know. I think if they keep dragging this Caitlin Clark conversation to almost every
it's going to drive people away.
It's going to drive people away. I said it, bitch. Remember, I think I wrote it on my page. I was like, I don't even feel like watching First Take right now. I don't even want to watch ESPN.
I don't watch it anymore. Since they've been doing this. Did y'all see SA went after Drea today? He didn't do it like he did
with Monica.
But he went after, but she stood up to him.
Yo, he gotta understand these chicks is not afraid of him.
He told he trying to school her on her career. Told her, if you keep thinking like this, you got a great career getting ready to happen. But if you keep this up, you gonna X yourself out of a lot of dollars because you don't understand marketing. He told her that on national TV. She came back and said, listen, I have enough knowledge about the game. She said, and I'm not going to compromise my knowledge of the game for the sake of marketing. She said, it may take me a little longer to get where I need to be, but I'm not going to compromise my knowledge about the game. In other words, I'm not going to get on here and say Caitlin Clark deserved to be on the team.
She doesn't.
For the sake of marketing. Go back and watch it. You're going to be surprised. Yo, I was like, yo, Stephen A., yo, man, yo, you still
on TV?
Because Stephen A. runs ESPN Sports at this point.
And he's about to leave and go to podcast area because they're not going. He wants Pat McAfee money, and I don't think he's going.
Oh, he's trying to be like Shannon Sharp.
Well, see, but the thing is, no, because Shannon didn't even get that. Stephen A. brought Shannon in. He's not going to get Pat McAfee money because you got to remember, Pat McAfee came to ESPN with his brand already intact.
He came with his cachet.
So when he walked in, he said, "Okay, I'm going to do my show my way, and I'm going to license you the show, and you're going to pay me to license you my show, as is the way I do it." So that's why they backed up the truck for Pat McAfee because his numbers podcasting was already crazy.
That's why when he made the comment about Caitlin Clark, all they could do was say, "Okay, just issue an apology."
Right, just give an apology.
Just say you're sorry, and we'll move on. Just say you're sorry and we'll move on. And you ain't hear no more about it. He said the apology, and you haven't heard a peep about him calling her a B. You haven't heard nothing else because he's the cash cow.
That's the cash cow of ESPN right now. It ain't Stephen A. It's Pat McAfee. Pat
It
McAfee
sure is.
And Stephen A. said, "Oh, I'm not worried." He said, "Because my time is coming." Okay, Stephen A. Yeah, you're gonna be shocked. They let you go before.
Firstly,
they let you go before.
He was late to the podcasting game, so he's already behind on that aspect of things. His
right.
podcast is doing okay because it's good, but his takes be so outrageous sometimes that people don't take Stephen A. seriously anymore.
His podcast needs to do good because of First Take. Without First Take, who's listening to him?
I mean, no, Stephen A. has a
He
following.
has an audience,
He definitely has a following.
but he wants
He's
that. He
horrible.
wants that bag from ESPN. That's
He ain't
what he
getting it.
wants.
He ain't
And
getting
I don't believe he's going to get it either. I think he's going to be sorely disappointed.
Listen, they wouldn't
He's
pay
gonna be
Mark Jackson
embarrassed.
and Jeff Van Gundy.
Right. And let's not forget, ESPN is Disney. Let's just call
Correct.
it like it is.
Correct.
It is. That's Disney. We keep saying ESPN, yeah, great, wonderful. When I went to Disney about 15, 20 years ago, and they had ESPN Wild World of Sports down there.
It's still there.
It's still there. Okay? That is Disney.
I was there 2 years ago. It's still there. It's very much still there. They actually expanded it. They'd have made it bigger.
Of course. Of course.
Why wouldn't they?
Right.
Disney World is literally a city. Like they need to Orlando needs to be renamed just Disney City.
I call it the land of the mouse when I go there. It's the land of the mouse.
Like literally, it don't make no sense how much land they have down there.
That's why when the governor was going after them, I'm like, bro,
that was stupid.
I'm like, bro,
DeSantis,
you gonna choose a fight?
An absolute idiot
with the entity that's putting y'all on the map and continue to finance the state. This is what finances the state: the retirees and Disney. That's it.
Well,
the retirees from New York.
Yep, and Disney.
Yeah, the snowbirds, all of them. Yeah,
that's it. They and Disney.
All of them.
They're the ones that finance
the money.
Florida. So let's just get off their back. You can't box. Listen. Y'all too short to box with God.
You ain't never lied, J-Mac. You ain't never lied. Great show again tonight, as always. We appreciate y'all being along for the ride, even through the technical difficulties. Shout out again to Bishop J-Mac and to Keisha Carter, who is now a regular here on the Church Guy Sports Show. Shout out to Mike McFadden, to Bishop L, who's in church but popped in for a little while. And for all of you that are listening, we appreciate you. There were some things we didn't even get to. We didn't even get that.
We didn't even talk about the Yankees because I went to talk about the
Yankees.
But you beat me. I still have yet to go to the.
You haven't been to New Yankee Stadium yet,
and I haven't been to Citi Field.
I haven't been to Citi Field yet.
One.
I haven't been to Citi Field yet.
Okay, so Citi Field right now, them tickets is like $20.
The Mets aren't good right now.
Listen, they got great restaurants in there. That's what I want to go for.
That's what I heard.
I heard they got great restaurants
in the Yankee Stadium. Oh my God!
I heard,
Oh my God!
I wanted to go see Darryl Strawberry get his jersey retired, but I couldn't get up there for that. I wanted to go to Citi Field for that.
Because that's the highlight. Well, I know we're ready to get off, but Steve Cohen is saying, "Oh, the Mets can still turn it around." I'm like, bro, what are you saying? They can't even get the second. They can't even get the second wild card at this point.
Does he see what we see?
But it's really crazy. But there's a lot to talk about with baseball as well. And even the direction the game is going with no salary cap, because now there are only 10 teams. I checked it this morning. There are only 10 teams in the league who are above 500. 10 teams in the entire major leagues that are above 500. And the Yankees are on their way to their 48th win tonight. They're beating up on Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I love Kauffman Stadium. I still think that's one of the
that's a nice ballpark.
One of the beautiful stadiums in the AL.
That waterfall fountain.
Yeah. I think I've always loved Kauffman Stadium.
I like Kauffman and I like Oriole Park at Camden Yards. That's
me and my wife when we go down there for crab cakes.
Yeah.
I'm always out. Yeah. I said I gotta get that. That Oriole Park is beautiful.
It's a beautiful.
That
beautiful
Camden Yards is something.
Yes, it absolutely is. So thank y'all for joining us. Next week, we're back at it again. The three of us. Hopefully, Bishop L will be able to get on with us. The Dodgers. Okay, see, Mike, don't start a new conversation. Yes, they have Shohei Ohtani who got $700 million. We're gonna talk about that next week.
All guaranteed.
All guaranteed. We're gonna talk about baseball money. We gotta talk about baseball money because baseball money is different.
And that's why I'm gonna put a public service announcement out there. Anybody that got little kids, stop sticking the basketball in their hand. You push a baseball, a bat, and a glove in their hand. That's where the money is. And there's not a lot of us there. I just wanted to put that out there.
That makes a good point.
That is a great.
And I know we're gonna talk about that. That we got to put that out there.
Yeah, let's
put that in the next show because
yes.
not a lot of us That's where we need to be pushing our kids.
And I have a reason.
I went to the
I have a
game.
reason why. Because I played baseball growing up. In fact, I will tell everybody. We'll talk about it next week. Baseball was my first love. Basketball.
Me
was actually
too.
my
I played
second
baseball
love.
and softball in the park all the time.
I played baseball from
Yes.
Sandlot from age 9 to age 20.
Yeah, did.
I played for my high school team. I played a year in college. I played baseball.
They
And
don't teach our boys.
as
And
good
when,
as a basketball player I was probably a better baseball player.
and when we do play, they don't teach our boys to pitch.
That's true. Because they put them in skill positions.
They put them at first base. They don't even really want to put them at shortstop. They'll sneak in there every now, but they put them in the outfield.
in the outfield.
That's what they want to do.
They put them in the speed positions.
But they won't put them at pitcher. And that's where the money is.
Wow.
You know how much a relief pitcher is clocking dollars. But I know we're going to talk about
Next
it.
week.
But I had to put it out there.
So
Once
that's
again,
my next husband. Shout out to the business.
That's like you don't want no NFL player. You
no
don't want
NFL money.
Baseball
No.
players holler at
And we can talk about that as well, because my cousin played in the NFL for 10 years, so I can walk you through his contract. So he was the original left tackle for Brett Favre out there in Minnesota. So like he protected Adrian Peterson running out of that backfield, and he made good money, but baseball money different.
And you again, it financially too. You got to invest. That's a sport you have to invest in.
That's the part I wanted to talk about. Ball, glove.
But we'll get into all that. We should have got into it tonight.
Yeah.
But
I
don't
know,
get
that was
get on your meeting, Bishop. Get on your meeting.
Y'all
Get
have
on
a
your
great
meeting.
night, everyone. We'll see you next week, 8:00. Tell somebody, Church Guys and Gals Sports Show. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Yo, this is the state of emergency. Check. I need all my Knicks fans right now to grab your jerseys, your popcorn, your sodas, whatever you gotta do to get ready for this game. I don't care if you're a cheerleader, an athlete, a couch potato. We're here to restore the feeling. Matter of fact, can you say from New York what I say from New York? Hey, yo, let's go now.
Hey, yo, I bring that New York energy. Talking 42nd Street. Alley hoop finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs. Step back, hit a 3. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy. Just to see the Knicks play. Make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us. Whole city is wild. This is New York. Why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty. Yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter in, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it down. By the